and welcome. My name is Crystal and today I'm going to show you how I make a US flag cake with the inside surprise. This cake is flavored strawberry, blueberry, white cake, and cream cheese frosting. Now you are free to make these layers however you want. I'm just going to show you the easiest way. I doctored up a boxed cake. So this is the inside of the cake. And if you just want to jump to how you assemble it, you can jump to the 3 minutes and 10-second mark. But this is how I made the cake layers. I started off with fresh blueberries and strawberries, and I pureed them, chopped them up and pureed them. Now you're going to use 2 boxed cake mix, and for the strawberry one, you are going to add the whole bag of 1 box. Make sure it's the 15.25 ounces. And we're going to add the puree. I think it's about 1.25 cups. And we're going to add the oil and egg whites. All the ingredients should be in the description box down below. I like to do a little pre-mix because I don't want to make a mess with this big machine here. So I start whipping it up. And I'm going to add a little bit of red dye paste food color just to bring out a more reddish tone. And whoops, I think that's a little too much, but it's going to give us this bright red colored layer. So this is what it should look like, and we're going to put that in 2 8-inch rounds. Now try to make them even. You can use this kitchen scale if you want to get them exact, but try to put them as even as you can. I do the same thing to the blueberries, and for this one you use half a box of cake. Again, the measurements are in the description box, but use half and save the other half for the next layer. And then I'm going to add the blueberries, and I believe it's 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And here we go, I guess. And the eggs, whole eggs, I think it's 2. And then I'm going to add blue. Now this is all the food coloring is gel paste. It's going to bring out the best, brightest colors. And we're going to mix that up. And again, we're going to pour this into another 8-inch cake round pan. Make sure you grease the pans. And then for the final layer, you're going to use the other half of the cake box mix. And of course, add the egg whites and the oil. And I believe I added water. And we're going to whip that up again in the stand mixer or a handheld mixer. You can do it by hand. And this one, you don't have to add any dye to it because the layers are going to be white. And it does do a good job of just making them white. And this one's going to be poured in another 8-inch pan. So bake according to the box description. So this is how you assemble the cake. You're going to end up with 1 white cake, 1 blue cake, and 2 red cakes. They're in 2-inch pans. And then you're going to need a 4-inch cutter. I used to use a cake leveler. You don't have to, but I find that this is kind of easy because we want these layers to be as even as possible. Now these layers are pretty thin, so I had to go to the lowest of the low on this cake leveler. It's not even a real notch. But here I am cutting it, and I didn't refrigerate or freeze these layers, so they were quite crumbly. I recommend freezing or refrigerating your cake layers. I had to use a paper plate right here, so it can give me enough height so I can use the cake leveler. That's the only reason why it's on a little paper plate. These layers are very fragile, so a good tip is to get a cake board and try to use that to move them around. Here's a little broken, it's a little cracked, but it's okay. It's going to be fine. If it falls, breaks in half, it's okay. You can just put it back together. So since I'm using a box cake, there's a little bit of these holes in it. Maybe I should have mixed it more, tapped out the air bubbles, but it's okay. It's going to be fine. So you should end up with 4 1-inch layers. And then you're going to have 1 2-inch blue. Don't slice that one in half. Leave it intact. And then, of course, you're going to slice the white one in half. All of these have the domes chopped off first, and then they're sliced in half. Then you're going to use that 4-inch cookie cutter and cut out a circle of one of the reds. and one of the blues, and the blue is going to be a little thicker because it's 2 inches in that 2-inch cake pan. We did not trim that one in half. One year I accidentally trimmed it in half and it was kind of a disaster, so leave that one intact. So you see, as you can see, it's a little thicker. And then we're going to do one of the white. So yeah, this is all the cake layers. I know it looks like a lot, but hopefully it's not too complicated. But this is what you should end up with. Now we can finally assemble. So I put a little bit of cream cheese on the bottom just to stick the first layer. We're going to start off with the red, try to center it, and I'm using cream cheese frosting. So make sure it's a very thin layer, just using it as glue to have it stick on, I guess. Now we're doing the white layer. Try to center it as best you can, and once again put a very thin layer of frosting. Now this one was the one that was kind of broken and crumbly, so I used the paper plate to help me guide it onto the cake. See, it's a little cracked right there, but it'll be okay. And I'm just making this for my family, so I'm not using any gloves or nothing. I just wash my hands really, really well. And then I like to put a little cream cheese on here, frosting, so you can just lock in the layers. But again, we're going to put another thin layer of frosting and move on to this thick blue layer. And we got to get the insides of this because we're going to put the inner circles. A white one, the white cake goes in next. And then finally the red one. And this should be it for assembly. Now you are going to have leftover cakes, and that's okay. You can use them for cake pops. You can just eat them. But this is how you'll get those flag stripes. And I like to do a crumb coat, put it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour. I don't know. And then I'm going to do the final coat right here. Now you can decorate the outside of this however you want. But I decided to cut the 1776 out of fondant, and I did this on the same day. So excuse my little fingers. They are actually just the dye of the gold because it wasn't dried yet. But I would suggest if you're doing any fondant work, you make it in advance. And excuse my camera skills. I am still learning, but this is how I decorated it. You can leave it all white, of course, and let the inside be a surprise. But I added these 13 stars for the 13 colonies on the blue part. And then I added some final shimmer or edible shimmer. I don't even know. Is this edible? I have no idea. Well, it's supposed to be edible, but, is it really? I don't know. So the 17.6 looks a little messy, but it's okay. This is a final product. And I love it. It's great. I'm really happy with it. It looks beautiful. I didn't dye the cream cheese white because I think the off color makes it look really nice. And this is how it is. I hope you enjoy this. If you try it, please let me know. See how it went for you. Here's a trick too. You can use saran wrap or plastic wrap to cover the edges on any cake to help it stay fresh, and you won't get that hard, stale slice. But yeah, so you can put these in little to-go containers. I know this one's quite large, but you can just slice it up and serve it up. I made this cake over the years, and it's always so good with those strawberry and cream cheese. But thank you for watching.